It's time to get your lazy vector ass in shape through shape building. Are you ready, designer? Sir, yes, sir. I think I may be rubbing off on you, designer. You're actually starting to sound confident. Wipe that grin off your face and get moving already. Yes, sir, will do, sir.
Welcome to Vector Basic Training. This is the shape building method video. Before we jump into the complex example of shape building, I wanted to first cover a creative exercise that I have in the book. And that creative exercise I called Skullduggery. And the way it works is you have these 8 basic shapes that you see right here on the screen. You have 3 circles, 3 rectangles, 1 square, and 1 triangle. And your creative exercise, or challenge I should say, is to take these shapes and using the shape building methods we cover in the chapter in the book, I want you to create a piece of artwork with them, and specifically a skull. So you have to take these shapes using the shape building method and create a skull. Can you do that? Well, hopefully you're not checking out this video before you actually get to that part in the book, but you know, that's okay. Either way, you're going to learn. A little creative rabbit trail here because it does apply, and that is, I had a teacher in high school. He taught Pacific Northwest history, and he used to give us the answers for the test before we took the test. And I just thought that was a little nuts when, because none of my other teachers did that. Study for your test, make sure to read chapters such and come in prepared. And then you come in and you wouldn't remember anything. Well, this teacher would give us all the answers. We'd come in, we'd take a test, and all the questions were what he gave us answers for. And you know what? I did pretty good on the test. And you know what? That's the one class I remember more things about history from high school than any other class. So it's okay if you find this before you find the creative exercise in the book. Either way, it's going to demonstrate a build principle here, which is a shape building method that you'll be able to use on your own project. So either way, we're fine. So I'm going to go ahead and build a skull. And the primary way I'm going to, and I changed this to outline so it's easier for you to follow along and see what's going on. The way you do this is these are shapes. These circle shapes were used creating the ellipse tool. You know, just simple circles. Creates a circle. Here's the square tool. Create any kind of square. Hold shift down and it will lock it into a square, or let go of shift and you can create any kind of rectangle you want. There is no triangle tool. It's kind of made from the star, which I think is a little wonky. They should just have a triangle tool instead of having to, you know, dink with this. But anyway, so you'll use the star tool to create a triangle if you need a triangle, so on and so forth. But in this case, they're all prefabricated. They're all right here, so we're going to get started. So with the skull, well, I know a skull has a big head, so we're just going to make the head. And I know it has eyes. These are already spaced okay, so I'm going to group those, select this, make this the dominant shape, and align it. So our eyes are basically there, and the bottom of a skull is kind of like, align that, kind of like that. I'm going to lower that because everybody has a forehead. So actually our eyes will sit down more. And I'm going to grab these, get these out of our way. Actually, I'm going to toss 2 of these. Knowing that I only have 3 to play with, I'm just going to clone my own so I can get the spacing the way I want. Command C, Command D, Command F. Then we're going to use the Pathfinder palette to create one shape out of these 3, a compound path. Then we'll just scale it down, select the square, center it, and then like a cookie cutter, hit that, and it will cut that shape out of there. Then we'll take this, and you can circle it off the circle if you wanted to. Center that, and that will become our nose. A little too big. I think these can all move down once again. And with those three items selected, we're just going to go Unite with the Pathfinder palette, and that creates one compound shape. And we're going to select these two bottom ones, once again, Unite. And so you can see the skull shaping up. We're going to select these points and just scale them up so it looks better. And we're going to create a background just so we can color the skull white, and it'll show up on this. We'll do that. Color it. Make sure we got that turned off. And F4 for me is a program to send it back. Program key, that is. We'll select this, and I'll want to bring that forward to make sure it's on top. Then I'll select the base of the skull, and once again, like a cookie cutter, we're going to do minus front. So what that creates is creates the shape that we fill with white to form our skull artwork. So that's how you can use shape building, just basic shapes. We didn't do any one point at a time using the pen tool. The pen tool didn't come into play at all. We didn't go point, 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 so on, so forth to create our shape. We didn't need to. We just used shapes to build the shape we needed. Now, granted, this doesn't apply to every style, obviously. This is going to apply more appropriately to graphic shapes that are more geometric, more iconic, more simplified, more elementary, if you want to put it that way. This will apply to a lot of logo design, because logo design isn't always illustrative. It can and usually needs more iconic solutions. And so this kind of method will help you in building that. If you're altering letter forms, you'll use shape building a lot to do that as well. So this is just a simple little exercise. You know, maybe the only part that I would go into after this, but this doesn't count because you don't have to do this, but I'm doing this just because I don't know when to stop, is I would use a point in order to add a nice little crack in his skull, because I just think that looks cool. So anyway, this is a simple exercise. The resource file is on the DVD. You can give it a shot, see what your skull looks like, and I hope this helps. Now we're going to jump into a more complex example of shape building and how it can play a part in creating a design that is a little more involved than what you see here.